Good afternoon to you, Mr. Alvin Thomas. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there, Mr. Matthias Peltier Jr. How are you doing, sir?
Good. Following an explosive this afternoon program this afternoon there. The
Yeah,
voice
yeah.
of Simeon Joseph.
I heard you doing your thing, my brother. I heard you doing your thing. I say, well,
Yes, Mr. Thomas.
I
Well, I'm
know.
happy. I'm happy you could join us after this fiery um, um, piece from Mr. Simeon Joseph.
Well,
Oh,
yeah, I noticed you leave me the last end, give me the, what you saying, the quas. You
no, no,
serve
no,
you serve the best meal first, and then whatever is left in the pot, you give it to me. So that's
no. I
okay.
know you're gonna serve some
That's
what
okay.
do you call
That's
this?
okay. I'll take it.
You're gonna serve some caviar right now, so
Uh,
that's the best.
I mean, look
You're
at
gonna
the
serve some
time.
caviar, right?
You like Blessing say you taking out of my time. Look at the time you're bringing me on, and then you're gonna tell me.
I will give you your time, Mr. Thomas. I'll
Oh,
give you your time.
all right. If you say
All
so,
right,
that's
brother.
okay.
Thank you.
All right.
No, Mr. Thomas. We want to jump straight into it. I know you have some really exciting news as it relates to the court and election. We hearing maybe call a snap election, maybe call. That's a lot of speculation right now because we have not confirmed. So, Mr. Alvin Thomas, what is the big news that you have from the court at this time?
Okay. Well, first of all, Matt, let me just say thank you to you and to Q95 for the opportunity to come here this afternoon and to share with your listeners what is going on as it relates to this legal matter, and to speak to a couple other issues if time permits. But in terms of the court matter, this is a very significant matter, okay? Extremely significant. And it is something that every Dominican, it doesn't matter on which side of the political fence you are, should make it their business to know. You may recall back in September of last year, 4 citizens of the Commonwealth of Dominica, referred to as claimants, filed a matter in the court. And they basically was asking the court to issue a declaration indicating that the two last general elections held, that of 2019 and 2022, were unconstitutional. They violate certain provisions of our Constitution. And of course, that being said, the only place you can seek redress is in the court. Okay? That matter was filed in the court on the 4th of September 2024. Subsequent to that, what was called a certificate of urgency was filed on the 30th of October 2024, when we were not hearing anything from the court in terms of a date for the hearing of the matter. Fast forward, we finally got a date for the hearing at the court, and that was held on the 12th of May of this year, 12th of May 2025. The matter was presented, and there was a hearing at the High Court. The defendants in this matter, the 9 defendants in this matter, requested for the matter to be striked out at that hearing. Based on that position presented by the defendant to have the matter strike out, our attorney representing the claimants did what is called a re-amended filing. It's referred to as a re-amended fixed date claim in light of the defendant's position or application rather to strike out what we have presented before the court. The judge did not uphold that position to strike out, and as such, the judge issued an order. And the order that has been issued is that the defendant should now respond to our re-amended fixed date claim. And as I said, that fixed date claim is in response to their position to strike it out. And they are to do so within 4 weeks of that hearing, which means that on or before the 12th of June, the defendant supposed to submit in writing their response to that re-amended fixed date file claim that we did. The claimant, which is the 4 individuals, have on or about the 27th of June to respond to any matter filed by the defendant, whatever is filed on the 12th of June. The parties are to file exchange written submissions on application to strike out on or before the 30th of June. And based on whatever is filed before the judge, the matter is adjourned for a hearing on the 15th of July, 2025. So just to summarize very quickly, on the 12th of May, both parties appeared in the court. One party, which is the defendant, wanted this matter striked out. Based on what we submitted by way of a re-amended fixed date claim, the defendant will allow to respond accordingly, and they have up on the 12th of June to do that. On the 27th of June, both parties will exchange. The matter will be determined before the judge. And on the 30th of June, and adjourn for a hearing on the 15th of July. Now, I started off by saying this is a very significant and important matter. It talks to the heart of our constitution and our democracy and elections in Dominica. I need not repeat what has been said in the CCJ's report that was issued as way back as July of 2022, which they indicated that until certain things are removed, we should not have another election. But let me just say more specifically as it relates to a press statement issued coming out of the May 12th hearing. And to reference, Matt, our submission, which was made. And in our submission, we are seeking the court to issue a declaration, 18 declaration, but more importantly, there is item 12, which I want to refer to among the declarations that we are seeking. Among the key declarations being sought in the claim form is section 12. And here's what section 12 is saying in the document that has been presented to the court. An order granting an injunction restraining the defendants, whether by themselves or through their servants or agents, from holding general elections in the Commonwealth of Dominica on any date unless 1, the procedures for holding general elections outlined in the House of Assembly Election Act and any other relevant election laws of Dominica have been complied with. 2, the voters list have been verified and the names of ineligible voters removed. 3, all objections filed on or before the 19th of November 2019 to present and or within the time limit for filing, whichever is later, are dealt with in accordance with the law. And 4, voter ID cards have been issued only to eligible voters. Consequently, no general election should be held in Dominica until these matters are resolved. Let me repeat that, Matt. Consequently, no general elections should be held in the Commonwealth of Dominica until these matters are resolved. As I said, that is contained in the document that was filed at the High Court, one of the declarations being sought at number 12 of our re-amended fixed date claim form.
Very interesting, Alvin. Very interesting. And you're saying that's coming from the judge.
Yeah, well, the order of the judge, I
Mhm.
outlined the timelines, what the
Okay.
judge ordered
But
based
but
on the hearing. That
but
is,
help me understand. Help me understand. So the local man can put in perspective, Alvin. Why did you? Why did it take you so long to make that announcement?
well, it's not a matter of waiting too long to make that announcement. In everything that you do, there is what you call strategy and how you should say a strategic move in making
Okay.
an announcement. So now seems to be the appropriate time on the heels of all what you're hearing to make the announcement. Maybe I had made it 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, it would pass over the heads of everyone. And we
Ah,
would not even remember that it was made. And we would be consuming our time and our attention in other frivolous matters.
because
So I think the timing is
you would
appropriate.
you would anticipate maybe some major announcement would have been made tomorrow.
Well, as I said, it is all part of strategy. That is one of the things I have learned over the years, that you have to be strategic in what you do and in what you say and when you say it. Old people always tell you, "Tout magie bopu magie, pas tout parler qui bopu parler." There are certain times you don't talk. You wait for the appropriate time to talk. So again, I am repeating that based on the document that was filed in the High Courts, okay, it's
Hmm.
filed before the judge. The judge read the entire document. Consequently, no general election should be held in the Commonwealth of Dominica until these matters are resolved. And let me just also refer to the CCJ's report that I referred to earlier. And one of the justices, that is Justice Honorable Saunders, the president of the CCJ, in delivering his judgment when the matter was presented before the CCJ, you had the Honorable Justice Jamada, and he did what is called the concurring judgment. And Justice Saunders, the president of the CCJ,
Mhm.
wrote the final judgment on behalf of the justices. At in the section that deals with final thoughts, section 109, and this is the justices speaking there. Okay, for my part, in relation to the electoral list issue and the related preliminary conclusions of the trial judge on the pleading as to unlawfulness, the Court of Appeal arguably may have had jurisdiction on constitutional grounds. And that is what we are taking to the courts, on constitutional grounds, irrespective of whether the decision was considered in the context of section 46 of section section 46 and 7, final or not. There can be no doubt that this particular decision conclusively preempted any further inquiry into arguable unlawful conduct by the elections authorities that potentially went to the roots of fair, free, and fair elections. At section 108 of that same document in the conclusion, the judge wrote, however, there remains areas of grave concern about how the process of these elections was conducted. And they were referring here to the elections of 2019. Further elections in Dominica ought not to proceed with these or similar things. So here you have the CCJ saying, hey guys, until this matter is resolved,
Mhm.
and as I said, the matter is before the court, we should not have any general election. So the ball now is in the courts of the Dominican people. The ball is now in the courts of the Dominican people, that there should be total and full resistance across the length and breadth of Dominica if any attempt is being made to hold any general election until these matters are resolved. And in
If,
particular,
for
more so,
example, Alvin, I mean, Mr. Prime Minister usually is a stubborn guy,
right?
and he always says that he has the constitution behind him. How do you expect him to react?
Yeah. Well, again, when people are stubborn, they pay the price for being stubborn. I mean, you had what's his name, Mr. Joseph earlier on your program talking about May 29th, and we all have a different perspective about it.
Hmm.
But if he's stubborn, then when people are stubborn, you got kids, right, Matt? You got
Yes,
kids,
I have
right?
to. I have to.
And if you have a stubborn kid, what do you do when he's stubborn?
You punish him
Exactly.
or her.
Exactly. So if the prime minister wants to be stubborn, then he need to be punished. Okay? And I'm saying that unequivocally that the ball is in Dominica court. It's time we stand up. I had the opportunity to read a statement issued by the Dominica Bar Association regarding the March 19 protests. Okay? And in that statement, Matt, there are 6 times, 6 out of that statement, 6 times that the Bar Association made reference to what is called the rule of law. Okay? They reference in their statement the rule of law. They began by saying at the onset, the Dominica Bar Association wishes to reaffirm the right to peaceful protest and always call for adherence to the rule of law. They went on to say further, the right of freedom of expression and to peacefully assembly must be recognized and protected in accordance with the principles of democracy and the rule of law. Okay? That's the Bar Association speaking. They're officers of the court. They went on further in their statement. The arrest of individuals outside the framework established by the Riot Act raises even more serious legal, constitutional, and rule of law concerns. They went on to say the use of outdated and potentially unconstitutional legislation. You hear it? And that's what we are challenging in the court. We are saying to the court that certain aspects of the 2 elections were unconstitutional, and we need the court to declare on that. Legislation and the targeting of individuals, including legal counsel, cast a shadow over the principles of due process and the rule of law. They go on further to say we stand ready to assist in ensuring that the principles of justice and the rule of law are upheld in Dominica. And finally, they are saying in their concluding remarks in their statement, in this regard, we will soon host our annual Law Week, which will focus on constitutionality and the rule of law. So they've mentioned the word rule of law 6 times in their statement. I can only infer that they recognize that there is a problem with the question of rule of law in Dominica. And to answer your question where you said he has the right to call elections, the Prime Minister does not have the right to call elections. He has a right to dissolve Parliament if he so chooses. But Section 38 is quite clear for our Constitution, 38(1). The Electoral Commission shall be responsible for the registration of voters for the purpose of electing representatives and for the conduct of elections of representatives and senators, and shall have such powers and other functions relating to such registration and elections as may be prescribed by law. So that is where the authority lies, with the Electoral Commission, not with the Prime Minister. And
We have,
if the Electoral Commission is
mhm.
satisfied that they are not ready, prepared, in keeping with that provision, they can determine whether an election is called or not.
Alvin, there was Mr. Thomas, there's a famous statement, and we've all heard it in Dominica. No law, I repeat, no law, no constitution can prevent me, Roosevelt Scarrett. How do you, what's your take on that?
Well, again, Matt, I just said earlier that the ball is quite in the court of the Dominican people, and they would have every reason to resist in whatever shape or form they decide is appropriate to bring about the change that they need. Dominicans going way back, and you can go back in the history. I mean, you had several revolts in Dominica. I mean, you had a revolt, they call it the Lapland Revolt in Dominica, referred to in April of 1893, where a collier, a guy decided it was a land tax riot in the village of Lapland. They revolted against the British people then.
Uh-huh.
And we've had several of those. I remember as a young man, a young boy, I was a young boy going to the St. Mary's Academy at the time, 73, 74. We felt at the time the Christian brothers were taking certain action that were not conducive to us as students, and we revolted. You may be too young to remember that. We shut down the school, we shut it down, and we took action, and the rest is history. Change came about. So this question of no law, no constitution, and I specifically referred to the Bar Association because they are officers of the court, and they just issued a statement. And like I said, they referred to rule of law 6 times in their statement. So again, it goes back to we the people.
While I recognize we the people, another very powerful statement. I know you were in the union business, general secretary at the time when people stood, but in recent times we have seen what happened when people stand for their rights in Dominica. Your take on that?
Well, I still have my faith in the people of Dominica. I've never lost faith in our people. I mean, yes, we have, we have struggled and then have the challenges for the last, one might say 20 years with this administration. But I've never lost faith in the people of Dominica and lost faith in the young people. That's another area that, I want to touch on because a lot of times you hear the thing, oh, young people don't care, young people, not interested. And that's not true. That is the furthest thing from the truth. I mean, I was part of a program not a couple Sundays ago where we had 2 young persons on a civic life program that showed the level of involvement they want to and have. Last night, we had a very good panel discussion discussing the whole question of the May 29th. You had esteemed persons like the former Prime Minister, Mr. Oliver Serafin, Afi Mate, Brother Egbert Germain, Nicholas George, Justice Andre, Irvin Andre, Crispin Gregoire, and Johnson Boston, and we had a young person there who made the very same comment that I'm making now. He came on and he wanted to say something, and he said, "Look, it's a false narrative that young people are not involved and engaged." So, to answer your question, I do have faith in my people, and I know at some point they're going to push back. They're really going to push back. So I am hopeful. I'm a man of hope, and while it may seem bleak, I think it comes a point of time when Dominicans would have had enough and would take the appropriate action. And I'm saying again, let me repeat myself for emphasis. Every Dominican should resist any calling of a general election, a snap. Okay? And it can be done. I won't come on your program here and suggest how it can be done, but it can be done. There can be pockets of resistance. Okay? I am confident it can be done, and it should be done. And let me just say also, in terms of the current law that just passed, okay, the current law provides for at least 15 months time frame, 15 months for there to be what is called a reconfirmation, not a re-registration, reconfirmation. So it means, therefore, that any snap election, any election that is held before that period of time would be using an old list, a corrupt list, okay? A corrupt list. Now, the last election that was held, we had an electors list of 74,844 persons on that list. Way more than the population of Dominica, all right? Now, here's the situation in Guyana. Listen to a situation in Guyana. Just this year, in March of this year, there was an article issued in the Wired press that speaks about Guyana's bloated electoral list undermines democracy. You hear the heading? Guyana's bloated electoral list undermines democracy. CARICOM, OAS, and the Commonwealth must act. That was the headline of the article, okay, talking about Guyana. Now, in terms of Guyana electors list, it is showing that Guyana's list is something like 92.91% of the population, and they considered it bloated. In other words, Guyana has a population of about somewhere around 800,000 persons, and their list was showing up at 731,000, which is roughly 91%. And they're saying that that is wrong. Hear what Ralph Gonzalez has to say, and then I will come to Mia Mottley, the chairman of CARICOM.
What about Alvin, a comment? Somebody just sent me a comment. You're actually now preaching to the choir. So people who may want to believe in you, but you need to convince the other side to come on board.
What do you mean by the other side and the choir?
The person gets text, he said Alvin is singing to the choir. The person's that listen to you every day.
Well, who is the choir? An action is before the court. Action was taken. It wasn't just words. We have a matter before the court. That is action. Seeking the court intervention on the matter. That is action. That's not a question of preaching to the choir. It follows, therefore, that we now, and by we, I mean the Dominicans, when this matter is being determined in the court, they should find themselves in the court. That's what they need to do. Get out on the streets and go to the court. It's an open court. It's not a question of speaking to the choir. This person who is sending you that note behind the curtains of protection must come on your program and must say what he or she is prepared to do to assist in where we are. That is what needs to be done.
You're saying more independent people should come out.
Exactly. Evil strive when good people sit back, do nothing, say nothing, see nothing. So at least I'm part of an action that is taken with the matter before the courts. How much support that is going to be lent to that matter? But let me just reference quickly, though, what Ralph Gonzalez had to say with regards to that bloated list. Because if Guyana is 91% and ours is 100+%,
okay,
CARICOM failure to uphold democratic principles in Guyana reflects its broader failure in regional integration. That's what Gonzalez said. And he went on to say, this self-serving leadership has caused many in the region to lose faith in CARICOM. And he's referring there to Guyana. Hear what Mia Mottley, chairman of CARICOM, says. Okay, Mia Mottley will be visiting UMAT on Sunday. I guess you'll be down there to see and to welcome her.
Welcome.
I don't know.
If I find myself there, Alvin, is to do the work of a journalist. Huh?
Okay. Here's what Mia Mottley says. Organizations such as CARICOM, the OAS, and the Commonwealth cannot continue to sit idly by and ignore this blatant threat to democracy. If these bodies remain silent in the face of such anomalies, they forfeit their credibility and impartiality. I'm quoting directly there from Mia Mottley. So just to go back to your little note that you get and talk about the choir, these persons must not sit idly by. They must come out. The fact that Guyana is now a petro state should not tempt these organizations' leadership into succumbing to political patronage and turning a blind eye to electoral malpractices. Those are the words of Mia Mottley, chairman of CARICOM. So what do they say to our situation in Dominica, where we have an electors list that is way past the population of Dominica, and you're saying to me the possibility of an election within a few months or whatever the case might be, using that old corrupt list, which the CCJ says is bad, it's not good, it's wrong. And that is where I'm saying that Dominicans, it's time the rubber hits the road and we come out and resist it as much as possible.
Now, the person who actually sent the note says that Mr. Thomas doesn't understand the polarization of the nation. People who already listen to Q is already convinced of what to do, but the other side may not be convinced.
Well, if the people who are listening to Q already know what to do, it's a question of going out there and trying to convert souls. That's what we all have to do. We all
Is
have
it,
to be
is
evangelization
it
and
a
go.
conversation that you might want to take on the other side, the other radio station, if given the authority to do so?
I'm
Yes,
sorry. Say that again. I'm sorry. Say
I
that again.
said, is it a conversation that you'd be willing to take on the other side if they
Oh,
allow you to?
absolutely. Absolutely, Matt. Matt, you know that. Matt, you know me by now. We've worked, we go back what, many, many years? You were
Many
one
years
of
ago?
you were
Yes,
one of I don't know if I could say it this way, but you were one of my announcers at Kyrie FM.
yes, I remember that.
I
Yes,
was the general manager of Kyrie FM and you were one of my announcers. You Roy Avon Roy, Bernard Frampton, the list goes on and on. You all were the announcers there then. Carl John Baptist. You know, I mean, those were the good days. So you know me by now. I'm prepared to go on any radio station and talk about the issue. I'm not here to discredit or disrespect anyone. That's not my objective. My objective is come to speak truth and to present the facts and to request that persons abide with our constitution and the laws of Dominica. That's my objective. And if
let's talk about Mia Motley, Alvin coming to Dominica. Oh, what's your thoughts about Mia coming to Dominica? You think it's the right time?
that is totally, totally, totally inappropriate and unacceptable. And the
Why?
question remains that would a Dominican be able to do that in Barbados and get away with it? Let's switch the thing around. Would a Dominican be able to do that in Barbados and get away with it? And herein lies the problem again. We have a right to assembly under the Constitution, to protest if something is vexatious to us. And she should be met by a very unwelcome at the airport. That's my view on it
You
personally.
say unwelcome? Unwelcome?
Unwelcome. Mia Mottley, Matt, for all intent and purposes. Let's understand that clearly. Mia Mottley is the chairman of CARICOM. Okay? That's her role there now.
Okay.
So let's put aside this question of Prime Minister Barbados and Barbados Labour Party and all this nonsense. She is the current chairman of CARICOM. It is very inappropriate, unacceptable for Mia Mottley as chairman of CARICOM to come to Dominica and engage in a partisan political activity. It is unacceptable, Matt. It is improper. I mean, she should know that. It's improper. I mean, is she the only one in the Barbados Labour Party that could represent the party at another sister party political rally? She's the chairman of CARICOM. What message is she sending? I just quoted what she said regarding the bloated list of Guyana.
Mm-hmm.
Why would you come on a platform to promote a rally for Sister Polly as chairman of CARICOM? I think it was Johnson Boston who made the point early on your program when during the reign of Dame Eugenia Charles, she was the chairman of the OECS, and her counterpart in Grenada, Keith Mitchell, invited her over to a thing. And she says, no. She said, Keith, I cannot do that. I'm current chairman of OECS. So somebody else from the party went to represent. It is totally, but that shows you the level of disrespect. The level of disrespect that currently exists in Dominica by this administration. That, like you just quoted a while ago, no law, no constitution. I don't give a damn. Whatever Dominicans say doesn't matter to me. I'm in charge. I'm in control. I'm the boss. Whatever I say goes. That shows you the level of disrespect. And it is time that Dominicans stand up and stop that disrespect and do something about it. It is time that we put away the fear and come out boldly and do something about it.
I'm going to allow, of course, to we're talking to you via Zoom, so we can allow a phone call. So feel free to interact with Mr. Alvin Thomas, of course, speaking on a number of issues. Just made a major announcement as to what will come in the court there. And of course, we're now speaking about Mia Motley. So feel free. The numbers are 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097, 616-4257. I know Alvin is quite capable. He will answer your questions. Of course, we're expecting some calls there. So if you have a call, if you want to call, feel free to do so. And already the telephones are going. Are you there? Good afternoon. Yes. Alvin, go ahead. Yes,
Good afternoon. My name is Clarence Christian.
Clarence Christian. Okay.
Yeah. And Alvid should not have the right to mislead the public and not questioned properly because you don't read, so he can get away with it. The court hearing, Matt, the court case. First of all, the claimants amended their claim forms. They amended their case. So here is what is ordered. Let me read for you what is ordered. 1, the defendants to file amended applications to strike in light of the re-amended fixed claim form within 4 weeks. So because the claimants amended their fixed claim forms, the defendant is directed to file amended applications to strike. 2, the claimant is at liberty to reply to the amended application to strike before 27th June. The parties to file exchange written submissions on applications to strike before 30th June 2025.
Clarence, I've had the opportunity on many occasions to, of course, dismiss a lot of what you say. But I want to give Alvin the opportunity to respond. He's on the line. I will continue with that interaction because sometimes you misrepresent what is read. And, I just want to give Mr. Thomas, we'll come back to you, the opportunity to rebut at this time. Stay on the line, Clarence. Stay on the line. Yes. Alvin, let me know.
Yes, well, all I will say to Mr. Christian is that I know he's part of another radio station, and I would be happy to accept an invitation to appear on that program to discuss this matter. Will you allow me? Will you give me an invitation, Mr. Christian? I'll be happy to come on board. Tell me when I should come, what time, what day, and I would oblige myself to come on your program, and we can have a civil conversation. We can discuss it. You put your point of view across, and I'll put my point of view across.
Would you accept that, Mr. Clarence Christian?
I will accept, but you do not have the right to mislead the public.
No. But he's saying he's not misleading, and you're saying go ahead. He's saying he's not. Yes.
I'm not misleading the public. I referred exactly to what's in the order. But I'm saying to you, if you feel so strongly that I have misled, I want you to invite me on your program.
One-on-one.
And one-on-one. And you will challenge me to what I'm saying. If again therein I misled, you will point it out. You'll say, Mr. Thomas, you are misleading. So invite me. Are you taking up the invitation? That's what I need to hear from you, not what I said here today. I am prepared to come on your program. Will you accept?
The program is not mine. I'm not the one.
No. Don't run. He wants to take you on a one-on-one so you can read what you interpret it to be, and he can read it his side.
You know,
so let the public judge. That's what I'm talking about.
You can make it happen.
Yes.
So talk to whoever you need to talk to and send me the invite, and I will come on board. I'll be happy to come on board.
Are you accepting the challenge, Clarence?
Matt, he can call like I am calling.
No.
We want the two pages of the documents there, as you said. People don't read, so let's allow the public to see what's there.
Yes.
And he will read his side, and you will read your portion. Okay,
yes.
That's what I'm saying.
I will come on the program.
We need a fair discussion on that one.
Let me tell you, I am prepared to put my money where my mouth is.
Okay, Mr. Alvin Thomas said,
what is the money where the mouth is? He hasn't said yes, Matt. You need to say, yes, I will make that happen. I'll arrange it. You may not be able to, at this juncture, promise and say it will happen, but you could say, well, yeah, I will do whatever at my end to ensure
So he's basically saying, Alvin, you're misinforming the public.
Oh, well, you know, Matt, I'm not even sure I want to give oxygen to that, quite frankly.
All right, so... See, Clarence, you're saying that he's misrepresented. He's saying you're misrepresented. So we need a one-on-one. That's how it should be. Okay.
By the way, let me tell you.
Matt, why you don't allow me to speak?
But you're right there, Clarence, so you may not allow you to speak.
The order is on the internet. You can read it. You can read it. You are the host of the thing before you.
No, but I'm giving you an opportunity to take him on one-on-one. I can read it myself. I'll have my own interpretation, but take the challenge, Clarence. Take the challenge.
Matt, let me just tell
let's
you.
move on. Yes, because
Matt,
we cannot.
Yeah,
we
Matt,
cannot,
let me just tell you for the records.
Thank you, Clarence. Go ahead.
Matt, let me just tell you for the records. I appeared on a program on another platform, another program. It's This Week in Interview, TDN Radio. I could mention it, and we were discussing the CBI. And Clarence did the exact same thing. He called in and said I was misrepresenting and giving wrong information. And I challenged him. I sent him a note, personal note, and I told him, well, look, we're inviting you on that same program, the TDN This Week in Interview program. Come on board and let's discuss it. The areas you said I'm misrepresenting, let's discuss it. Up to today, he chickened out. He said, yes, he would come. When the producer of the program sent him a note, I too sent him a note and tell him, come on the program. Let's discuss it. Let's have that civil conversation. And that is what is missing in Dominica. We're not having the civil conversation. People are quick to come in and misline you and say, false things.
And accuse you of many things that they feel they know better. So exactly. I'm really welcoming the opportunity.
Let's deal with the issue.
If you want, you can come right in the studio. I can provide an opportunity for
Absolutely.
you. Link us up through StreamYard there, so we can have a banter between you and. But you're sitting in the comfort of your home, and you always misinterpreting. Next thing you have to apologize. I want you. To give you an opportunity to speak to Mr. Alvin Thomas and maybe on your own radio station. So let's hear the facts and don't run away and just make statements there, So please.
And I'm glad he's listening. I'm glad he's listening too and he's calling in. I'm glad. So let's do it.
All right, so let's take a Clarence. The invitation is out there, 449. Because you're now before the call because you misinterpreted what was in document. So exactly. I don't know if you want to accuse people of not reading.
Wasn't that the same person who said what persons were intended to go in Parliament and do?
He was the same person a few months ago who said Mr. Edison James did Edison James did that. No, he's before the court.
Yeah, exactly.
With Edison James. So he has a full grasp of interpretation there. So let's give him a chance to present his facts, and you can present your facts. So 449-3095, 449-3096, 449-3097. Let's take another phone call. Are you there, yes?
But why are you wasting all the time with Clarence?
Clarence is a Dominican just like you and me, huh?
All right.
You have to give him a chance. 449-3095, 96 and 97. These are the numbers to call. But Alvin, you were making a point. We were talking about Mia Mottley before Clarence jumped in. Yes?
Yes.
You were.
I was saying it is very inappropriate, Matt. And this excuse of being, is a sister party and all that nonsense is just not right. I mean, we're supposed to be what they call honorable people, honorable minister, honorable this, and we're not behaving in an honorable manner. I mean, what message would she?
But I want to ask that question though. Do you want to blame Mia Mottley? I mean, a lot of blame going Mia Mottley's way as it relates to, she taking Ross University from us in Dominica. Who do you really want to point the blame in terms of what happened with Ross University, Alvin? Tell me.
In terms of Ross, it's not a question of blaming this one or blaming that one. What I will say is that it goes back to elections. Elections has consequences. If you put the wrong persons in office to govern your affairs, then that is what will happen. Your economy will tank, your universities will go away, your health services will be questioned, your garbage disposal will have a problem because you put wrong people to manage. So if in fact, which is what it was, we did not have persons there who could sufficiently sit down with Ross and negotiate properly and to ensure that Ross remains in Dominica. So clearly it falls on us. But in terms of Mia Mottley coming to Dominica and address the rally, I think to him much is given, much is expected. I mean, she has a responsibility in that regard to say to herself and to her colleague that, look, I mean, while I would love to come, but given the unique role that I hold as chairman of CARICOM, I think it would be inappropriate. I mean, I refer to what Ralph Gonzalez said about the trust that people have in CARICOM. Nobody believes in this thing. It's like a boys club and a girls' club thing, whatever it is. So I think she has to take some of the blame as it relates to coming to Dominica to address the rally.
Somebody writes here in a question mark. Dominica was on the path to becoming a regional hub for medical education with satellite industries in finance, tourism, agriculture, and light industries, to name a few. But in 2018, Ross University School of Medicine pulled out of Dominica after 40 years and shifted its operations to Barbados. The departure of Ross University deflated Dominica's economy and created an economic graveyard in Portsmouth, thus affecting hundreds of families. The cause of this economic catastrophe may have been hatched in the devastation of Hurricane Maria, but nonetheless, the Labour Party government is directly responsible for its failure to retain this honey-grown treasure. Speculators assert that some Labour Party operatives based in Barbados actually fueled and facilitated the movement of Ross to Barbados under the leadership of Mia Mottley. And though many of us may blame Mia Mottley, her defense, she stated the following on August 7th, 2018. Barbados came into the picture only when for Ross University returned to Dominica for the start of January semester. The January semester in 2019 was not an option. We inquired of Ross whether all options and scenarios has been explored and fully exhausted. We spoke with officials of the Dominican government who was still hopeful of a return of the school, but conceded that the January startup was highly unlikely given their circumstances. It was only after Dominica was ruled out for the January startup of classes and when attention had turned to at least two potential locations in the region, two sister Caribbean countries, that Barbados then embraced the idea of making itself available as a possible site for relocation. Unlike our leader, Mr. Skerritt has never given full disclosure on the departure of Ross and has decided to have Barbados leader to be the featured speaker at this Labour CWO rally scheduled for this weekend. The question for Dominicans is, when will we stop being abused and seek accountability? Should we take this weekend as the turning point? We really need to reflect and understand that we never get full disclosure or never got full disclosure from our Prime Minister and the government. After 25 years, Dominica is still absent financial prosperity and abundance. Are we really going to celebrate with men and women who have increased their portion whilst the majority of Dominicans are still living from hand to mouth? It is time for change. That, of course, was sent to me from Mr. Joshua Francis.
Yeah.
You agree?
I think I agree with Josh comment on that. I totally agree. First of all, it's my understanding, and I stand corrected. I guess Mr. Christian might know more of it than I do, that when the negotiations were taking place as it relates to Ross, the Prime Minister wasn't even part of that negotiation.
He was not there. He was not there.
He was not there. That's what I heard. So, I mean, again, I stand corrected, Mr. Christian. Maybe
he may have been in Dominica, but not present at the negotiations.
At the negotiations. Now, tell me, Matt, are negotiations of that magnitude taking place? Ross, after 40 years, decides to pack up and go. And you, as our chief CEO of the country, is not part of that negotiations? To say, well, okay, Ross, what is it we need to do? Where can we come in? Where have we failed? What we need to adjust? What concessions you need? What are you looking for? How do we keep this school going? What do you need? You need tax rebate, you need this. What is it we need to do? He was not even there. And you made the point in what George said. He spoke about transparency. That's another problem. These things happen with no transparency. We have the MOU with China. We don't know what's in it. I mean, nothing going on with us. I mean, this is part of the problem. And I think it's time, as Josh rightly said, that Dominicans have to take ownership of this thing. We have to take ownership of this. We can't just let it slide by and say, well, yes, the talk is important, but we must walk and talk, walk and chew gum. We have to take action as well. And that's why I'm hoping that the Dominican people, I give you the dates when this matter is going back to the courts for some hearing, that they should go to the courts and listen. It's on your behalf. The claimants have done that. Go to the courts.
As we speak of William Mottley, Mr. Alvin Thomas,
I'm
I
sorry.
want to play a statement that's been circulating as it relates to accountability.
Yes.
And, we Dominicans, I say we, I'm a Dominican as well, should look for more transparency and accountability, as explained by Mia Mottley.
The voices of accountability. This beacon encourages every Bajan to speak up and take responsibility when they see something going wrong in this country, in their community, in their houses, in their jobs.
Every Dominican.
It embodies the idea that accountability isn't just for leaders, but for every citizen. Tanya Stevens reminds us of corruption in high and low places, only to remind us that because we have a colonial mentality, we see only the oppression that is above us and not the oppression that is among us. Creating a culture of silence in the face of patent wrongdoing is not just acceptable, it is dangerous and it is destructive. And speaking up respectfully and, more importantly, speaking truth becomes a civic duty of every citizen of this country and everyone who chooses to want to live among us, even though not a citizen.
Now, I
This
think
applies, my friends, to whether we're talking about what happens in our home, our workplace, the church, the community, or even the block, especially the block. There is nothing to be gained through remaining silent when we know better. And to say it shoulda, it coulda, I didn't. Regret cannot be the platform to this country's stability, harmony, or prosperity.
All right. So, Mr. Clarence Christian, if you know better, speak about the truth.
So
and account.
again, Matt,
Yes.
Mia is quite good on words. You hear her time and time again at the UN and elsewhere where she speaks. And
very eloquent, yes.
Very eloquent, but yeah, you must put your words to action. And she's right. I'll say she's right. I mean, one of the lines I picked up there is that creating a culture of silence is dangerous. That's what she said. Creating a culture of silence is dangerous. And that is what we need to fix in Dominica. That culture of silence is dangerous to us as a people, to us as a country, and that is what we have to get away from. That culture of silence is dangerous. So we got to do something about it. So she's absolutely correct.
No, Alvin, let's take a few calls there because, of course, time is of the essence here. Hello, talk to me. Yes.
Matt, good afternoon to you, your listeners, and at home and abroad.
Good afternoon to you, Boston.
And Alvin, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
As usual, putting the case forward. And education, information is necessary to make informed decision in the nation's development. And I think to inform the people as to what is before the court, I think I know that you have a very good and powerful team. And the court is what we have in a democracy to decide right and wrong. And the matter will go to the court and the court will decide. Sometimes we argue things and we try to make excuses and try to defend who we have to defend. But the important thing is, if we are aggrieved on matters, the court, and that's why the court ought to be independent and stand on its own to adjudicate the wrongs and rights among the citizenry. And I said, yes, this morning I said to you, Mark, that the justice is blind. They don't see color, they don't see party, they don't see white or black. It's just that justice is justice and so on. So Alvin, I want to commend you and the team that you have with you, both people, Dominicans at home and abroad, working to ensure that the right thing is done. And sometimes people get the impression when you speak, you're against them, or when you speak, you hate them. You hate nobody in person. I hate nobody in person, but you dislike their policy and you're free to talk about it. And I just heard Leah a while ago. She's right. She said those things. But, you know, in Dominica, the bloc, she asked the bloc to speak up. But what we're saying now in Dominica, the bloc has been given alcohol to stay engaged, not jobs, an opportunity to learn and so on. And even the younger people who went to study, while they're studying, they're being shortchanged. And now what is going on now is a seawall bon temps, where some shops, I know for a fact, in some communities are adopted to give free drinks to the guys on the block. And that's what we want after 25 years of a government in power. All we deserve is red flags and drinks on the block, and no jobs, no opportunity. So let's keep on working for the country. Let's do what is right for the country. And at the end of the day, truth and righteousness will prevail. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Just yesterday, we heard of course, Mr. Boston and our former UN ambassador speaking to the issue. Let's listen a minute.
Really affront to the Dominican people that the sitting chair of the CARICOM will come to a partisan political rally in our country. I think that we have to let Mia Mottley know that is really unacceptable behavior. And I believe that the ERC has written to her. Maybe Mr. Boston can confirm that. But she needs to be told in no uncertain terms, look, you're not coming here as the chair of CARICOM to speak at a Labour Party rally. That is an interference in our internal political affairs. And Mia Mottley is not that popular in our country either. We just have to remind her about Salisbury, what she did in Salisbury in 2019 with her troops. And then she took away Ross University. We took it in stride, but Matt, we can't forget that one. We built that university over 40 years, and then, Barbados took it away from us under her stewardship. So she's not a popular figure in Dominica, and I think, it's an affront to the Dominican people that the government would invite such an individual to come to our country as the chair of CARICOM. That's not, I don't think that's a good thing.
All right, let's see. We hit just at Boston, but let's listen to a few more calls. Alvin, I know you're standing by. Hello, yes, talk to me. Yes,
Mr. Pelte, good day, and good day to you again.
Good day to you.
Now, Matt, you just played a recording of me and Mottley talking about people should stand up and people should speak out and take responsibility and give accountability. Matt Pelte, this is the same me and Mottley in 2019 on the eve of an election was misinformed also without investigating, sent riot police or RSS, regional security system, to shoot Dominican people because they were standing up for what they think is right and what was right, for them to have free and fair election, whereby causing the death of people in Salisbury. You understand what I'm saying? And yet still continue recognizing an illegitimate government. And now she comes speaking that thing. I think Dominicans should show their disgust and block me and Mottley from coming to Dominica. And what I'm telling you there, in the near future, I will be in Barbados telling that to the Barbadian people because they don't seem like they're well informed about dirty and wicked ways to speak on the two sides of a tongue. Anyway, thank you very much. Take care.
All right, thank you very much. 449-309-5997. We're speaking with Alvin Thomas. He's on the line there with us. And of course, we're taking more phone calls. We have a few more minutes. Hello, talk to me. Hello. We're moving. Let's take another phone call. Are you there? Yes.
Matt?
Yes, go ahead, sir.
We need some of the you guys young
Haiti. Barbecue. Barbecue. All right. Thank you very much. And hello, talk to me on the telephone, yes?
Yeah, Matt, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. Good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
Yeah. Matt, what is most sad about this whole situation? We spend the whole week we're talking about Mia, but here we have an opportunity. The biggest thing in the region is coming to Dominica. We have a chance to create real news by really showing our disgust. And it's not even about bros for now right now. It's just we can make a case to the world through Mia. And that, what are we talking about? Mia. Where is our organization of resistance to show the world that we have disagreements with Mia on those electoral things? We have disagreement with Roosevelt. Unless we start doing those things, Matt, we're not going to achieve anything. As I can tell you, it depends on the people.
Yeah.
Okay, Mr. Zed Lloyd is sharing a point. He says, the people should stand. Alvin?
Yes, that is absolutely correct. That is absolutely correct, Matt. Granted, I accept the point that, we're in a different time now. We're in a social age, media, AI, you name it. But as I explained to you, I was a young man then at St. Mary's Academy, and we stood up. And I can cite various other examples. I refer to the Lapland Uprising. We've had several of those in the country. We just celebrated May 29. So until the people decide we've had enough and stand up and say, well, hey, we want to change, then nothing is going to happen. We can talk till the moon come. That is not to say that we don't talk. Yes, we have to educate the people. We have to share the information, spread the knowledge. But at the end of the day, we have to take responsibility and take the action. And like John F. Kennedy said many moons away, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country.
On that note, let's take a phone call. Are you there? Yes?
Hello?
Hello, how are you doing?
I'm okay. There's a Creole proverb that says, "La besta suti." We cannot send one troop to solve the situation in Haiti, but the RSS can come here and murder us. Thank you very much.
The telephone. Hello, talk to me. Are you there? Yes. Hello. Caller.
Yes, my brother. What's up? Very good program. You know what I mean? Let's not focus on me and Mottley. Please, Dominicans, let's not focus on Mottley coming because it's not we that paying the passage for her to come. The Prime Minister is inviting me and Mottley to Dominica. The Prime Minister said no law, no constitution. He said, go to hell, it's none of our damn business how he's spending his money. Let him use cash, not help you. So now we don't know what he's using to bring her there. But we all should tell her no, because why? She apologized technically to us, said that she did not know exactly what Roosevelt's carrot was about when she sent the forces. But she is the one who sent the forces to Dominica because she knows. And we must challenge her, because she's too silent about Ross. And there is something that I feel in my bones, that Mie Mottley is on an attack to take something else from Dominica. And if Dominicans sit down, this time we are going to be what? Cranana.
All right, caller, thank you very much. Let's take another voice note there, this time on the telephone. Yes, go ahead.
Matt, I send the next voice note again. And I said to you before, good afternoon again, Matt. Once I send a voice note, it's because I cannot call. And I'm honest about it. But Matt, not everybody, some people are saying that they should not blame Miss Mia Mottley, Matt, for Ross University. Matt, I blaming her. I put in all the, well, most people say we have to blame our Prime Minister. We know that. But Matt, let me say why I am blaming her. When I declare myself, I say I'm a Christian in Scottsdale, right? Matt, I was a young lad. Pastor Bell came to Scottsdale, and I gave my heart to the Lord, Matt. But Matt, people eyes are on me. And there's a lady, she was running a shop. Them happy, she didn't go mad. But you know what the lady did? She saw me coming to the shop, and she don't tell somebody in the shop. She's gonna give me more change to see if I'll take it. Matt, I don't know nothing about that, Lord have mercy. Matt, I came and I buy a Coca-Cola. That time, that was real Coke, Matt. And Matt, the lady gave me a heap of change. And Matt, I knew that was mine, Matt. I said, Happy, no, you gave me too much change. But every time Happy, Matt, the lady testing me. Matt, me and Mottley know Barbados is way ahead of Dominica, Matt. Matt, our Prime Minister cannot be as bright as me and Mottley. Me and Mottley is a lot brighter than he is. And Matt, for me and Mottley to see the state of Dominica, there's an agreement, Matt. I call it an agreement because how it happened, it have to be an agreement. I'm subject to correction, but that's my own thinking. To take away Ross University, 30 or 32% of our GDP from Dominica. Matt, you mean to tell me and Mottley did not know that, Matt? But because I blame her for Ross University, I'm going to sing a song, and that song, listen to it well. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome in our beautiful Dominica. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome. Mia Mottley, you are not welcome in our beautiful Dominica.
Oh boy, in the afternoon, this is the talk on the block. Expect anything. I'm going to give you a minute there to wrap up, but very interesting conversation thus far. Hello, talk to me, yes?
Matt Brother, good afternoon to you and to your guest there.
Yes, Mr.
David.
Thomas.
It's Fontaine here from La Plaine. How you doing? Jason here. Matt, I think we, as Dominicans, it's not the fact that we are seeing what's going on in Dominica. The Dominica Labour Party and the Prime Minister, led by Roosevelt Skerrit, has been the worst corrupted government that ever touched money in Dominica in the doors of Treasury, the Treasury Department, spending zero money and handing out monies to stars and artists, bringing people from overseas, and corruption at the highest level. We know that. But what are we doing as an opposition on the ground? We are spending time addressing the matter of advertising the Labour Party's event on Sunday. But what about going on the ground, going door to door, in every constituency, in every corner end of Dominica, and build a movement and give the people of Dominica a sense of hope and change, a different direction, a different momentum into the future. And, while it's a shame what we're seeing, while I definitely disagree with what's going on, the red cloth on everything, that's the unnecessary spending on taxpayers' behalf, yes. But what is the opposition parties are doing? Building yourself up together, this should make you even stronger in terms of building a reliance, building a restraint from the government, and build your groups and your constituency association, and build your youth movement, and get there on the ground, and stop talking about Mia Mottley. Mia Mottley will always come. She's the head of CARICOM, and she's welcome to enter any country. Yes, but she's also two-tongued in speaking. Yes, we can listen to hear what she's saying, but we need to also be focused. Anything can happen on Sunday, man. Skerrit could ring the bell on Sunday. And that is one thing I'm not hearing that people are talking about, just about a rally. But Skerrit and this regime, it can do anything. So, in closing, my advice to the opposition is to build yourself, build your foundation.
Okay, Jason, thank you very much. Thank you. Advising the opposition to get ready for anything. Somebody says on June 1st, Barbados is getting a wage hike increase. I hope she mentioned this when she comes to Dominica this Sunday. Alvin, we have to wrap it up here.
Yeah.
Very interesting afternoon. Yes.
Well, Matt, let me just say again, thank you for the opportunity to appear on your show and your program and to share with your listeners and the Dominican, in particular those at home, what's taking place as it relates to this legal matter. We are at a crossroad, if I may put it this way, in terms of where we are as a country. The last election that was held in 2022, the next one is not constitutionally due until 2027, at least 2 years from now, thereabout. 1 year later, 2028, this country, the Commonwealth of Dominica, will be celebrating 50 years as a young nation. 50 years. And the question remains is that where have we been in the last 50 years? And where would we like to go in the next 50 years as we get into the next 50 of the century? And I think this is the question we all need to ask ourselves. What vision, what would we like to see for this country, this beautiful place they call Dominica? And I think it's time, like I said, that the rubber hit the road and we are bold enough to take action. Are there risks involved? Absolutely, there are risks involved. Any civil, any disturbance, any movement, there are always risk. I mean, I don't have to sort of reiterate what that entails, but clearly, we have to take charge of what's going on. I'm pleased to see that the Bar Association issued a very long statement on the March 19th situation. And like I said, reference the rule of law. It is my hope that this matter before the court, as is outlined in our claim that we filed with the court, that the due regard and respect will be given to the courts. And therefore, I think every citizen, if the administration chooses to do otherwise and disregard and dismiss what is before the court and seek to circumvent all of that, I think every citizen have a right to oppose that. You have a right to resist. And that resistance can take several forms. As they said, there are several ways to skin a cat. And that resistance should take several forms. So that's what I would close on, with a sense of hope. Our young people, me and Mottley talk about talking to the folks on the block. And I think to some extent, I know this group of young guys on the block, Munserie, doing some of that. They engaging themselves in what's going on. I would like to see more of that, more of this Munserie people across the length and breadth of Dominica, engaging and having the conversation on these very important matters that affect our country. So thanks again, Matt.
Alvin Thomas, thank you. You still you still are ready to challenge Mr. Christian? Yes.
Oh yeah. Anytime. And you could send a note to your folks, to your colleagues at DBS.
Yes.
And what is his name, Matthew or Kiwana, one of them.
Cecil Joseph.
They're trying to get me to come on another program, like the what you call it, the LACUs or whatever.
Yes.
But I want to come on a program like what we're doing there now to discuss some of these very pertinent issues as it relates to governance, transparency, that type of thing. So I'm available. Clarence Christian, if you're still listening, send me the invite. You can find me, my number. I'm not a difficult person to find. So send me the invite and I'll be happy to come on board and have that conversation. We can have a real good civil conversation.
That's it. Alvin Thomas, thank you very much. We've got to go. Thank you.
You're most welcome, man. Have a great weekend. Take care. All the best.
Thank you very much. Now we're taking a break. I will see you again tomorrow morning.
Dominicans, enjoy your property, protect your property, you homeowner and businessman, protect your property, enjoy your property. Can't wait for the hurricane, can't wait till your flood again, can't wait till your roof fly out and all your business coming out. Remember, no insurance company will insure your property when a storm is approaching. Get ahead of the hurricane season and insure with a company who gives you the assurance of payment for your valid claim. Come speak with us today at the New India Assurance Company Limited, upstairs AC Shillingford and Company Limited, 24 King George Street, Roseau. Bring along an up-to-date valuation from a qualified engineer and get insured today.
Guys, you know what it is. My name is Shelly, and this weekend, this Saturday, it's all about the UEFA Champions League Heineken after party going down at Vado's Hotspot in Fokani. So make the turn. Signal Band is going to be in the building. DJ Shill, lots of Heineken, you don't know, pocket promotions, UEFA Champions League stuff to win. Check it out this Saturday. You don't know, the UEFA Champions League after party going down at Vado's Hotspot. Shut them.
The quality. When I'm out and it's my time to play, it's actually not the crew making a difference for you. I hear you get rocked anytime you drink it. The XM Supreme 15 years, the XM Royal 10 years, XM 5 years, and the 750 milliliter bartender. Come on, pass me a banks. Thanks extra match, yeah. Premium blend. Try out the 200 or the 750 ml. Yeah, man. Guaranteed for any occasion. Say you can't go wrong with thanks from. Hey, you can test the quality. Thanks, yeah, more than that. Thanks Supreme High Wine, the pot and the white wine. And for the cake, greater than me, and sorry brandy. I give thanks. You can get the quality. When I'm out and it's my time to play, it's that trading at the crew, making a difference for you. I hear you get ranks anytime you drink it. Remember, drink responsibly.
Q95 Radio is opened for your business in collaboration with the National Development Foundation of Dominica. Get ready to join Q95 Radio and NDFD for Nature Island Small Business Buzz, a live radio program bringing in empowerment to small business ideas and entrepreneurs across Dominica every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m., offering a unique national platform for small, medium, and growing business enterprises in Dominica. Together, we'll aspire to connect, advertise, learn, collaborate, and witness small business entrepreneurs thrive and succeed in the fertile broadcasting soil of Q95 along with the NDFD. Join us on our journey every Tuesdays and Thursdays from 4 to 5 p.m. One unbroken, exciting hour of free Q95 Radio small business promotion as together we explore all the challenges, the setbacks, the setups, the comebacks, stories, the history, the startups, the breakthroughs, the financing, the sweat, the toil, the sleepless nights, the heartbreaks, the triumphs, the business plan, the overall success in pursuing your small business dream come true in the Commonwealth of Dominica. Join veteran broadcaster Franklin Peter Moses and Mr. Donald Bacasio, highly skilled, qualified, sought after business and entrepreneurial manager, small business development expert, and strategic business coach. Together, we're taking you and your small business to the pinnacle of success in the Dominican economic landscape. So don't miss Nature Island Small Business Buzz every Tuesdays and Thursdays right here on Q95 Radio, the big station.
Mortgage. And wasn't NCCU's 5% mortgage mega deal? Or mortgage plans to consolidate all your debts into one mortgage rate? Okay, we listen and we don't judge.
So you have a mortgage and need some upgrades in your life. You haven't applied for our NCCUs beyond the mortgage. 6 loans at 6%, like education, medical, and vacation. We listen and we don't judge.
Your community financial partner wants you to be sound in your pocket and in your mind. Don't make financial decisions that are going to leave you stressed. We told you, NCCU is the plug for all your money moves. We have loans for all purposes. All you have to do is contact us. Pick any of our 11 locations and then just advance.
From the cradle to the grave. PSB members, it's time to rally around your salary. Negotiation Tuesday is coming. Come the 3rd of June, all public officers, every one of you are invited to a general membership meeting to discuss salary negotiations at the Public Service Union headquarters from 4:30 p.m. It's no longer business as usual. Together we can achieve. Don't miss the Dominica Public Service Union General Meeting Tuesday coming. It's your salary. It's your salary negotiation. We can either swim together and remain afloat or drown together by swimming separately and watch them float. Tuesday coming. Come take your rightful seats. Raise your hands. Speak up. Let your voice be heard. Come discuss your salary negotiations. DPSU headquarters from 4:30 p.m. Tuesday coming. Don't miss it.
Condemn the quality. When I'm out and it's my time to play, it's actually not the crew making a difference for you. I hear you get rocked anytime you drink it. The XM Supreme 15 years, the XM Royal 10 years, XM 5 years, and the 750 milliliter bartender. Come on, pass me a bunch. Thanks extra match, yeah. Premium.